Hi there, this is Brandy J, and you are tuning in to my podcast, A Voice to Be Reckoned, second edition. Today's episode is called Racial Tension Within Social Platforms. I don't know for many and your experience, especially lately in 2020 and in these several months that have passed, and what platforms that you use. There's so many. There's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's Twitter. There's these platforms of TikToks. We have our, there's just so many. There's so many. And amongst all these, and then some, you notice a high range of racial tension amongst the users in these apps, where the accountability falls. It's up to you as the users to decide where you want to place it, because when you sign on to these apps, you basically sign on to these apps. But then you also sign on with the understanding that you should feel safe and you should feel as if inappropriate things and inappropriate language, slurs, harassment, bullying, whatever it may be, will be settled within the creators, developers, of these apps. Because there is accountability that comes highly into play when you develop an app and you put an app into use for the public to use. I would think that one would have an amount of integrity that they hold when they create these apps, that they will not want to be seen as a platform that caters to anything that can be a disrespect or of a racist view or inequality. And personally, those are my thoughts on that. Sorry, I really needed to drink some water. Oh, yes, refreshing. But as far as the things that I've noticed throughout plenty of these apps, is the back and forth and the very disgusting display of human nature, may I say, when it comes to being involved in these communities. For one to have an account on a platform and use it to go about going onto another user's profile or their page to say disgusting things when one posts on a matter, and to say ugly things, nothing of good nature. It says a lot about the person, about their character. Let's start by saying that. When you use your platform for that, you basically make yourself look like the idiot that you are behind a screen, like the coward that you are. But the display that you show, let me go on this person's page and call them the N-word and tell them how much they deserved to get this, and how much George Floyd deserved this, and how much Breonna Taylor. I've seen some disgusting shit. And it just falls back to, and who's the people you're calling out? But yet you're the one with this disgusting display of how the hell and who the hell lets you the hell out. what's going on in your life that you have nothing else better to do to spew out this hatred to show us that you don't really like yourself. Because the people that you're spewing these things that's done nothing to you. It's called get some therapy. Or who raised that ass? When you show those colors, when you show that part of you, you just expose that disgusting human in you. You just knocked yourself down on the chain of decency. Human decency. And then you have to go to really think about the platform that you're on and how much of this is going on. And when the hell are they going to kick in and have some damn, act right and clean up that environment that they're so letting just unfold? Makes you question the platform that you're on, and maybe you might not want to partake and give your service, give your membership, or you signing up on such a despicable platform that allows these things to happen to individuals, that you have to sit there and debate or do whatever you do to ward yourself against these people, which is definitely a form of bullying, harassment, hateful words. I mean, isn't there such things as, when you call someone out of their name, racial slurs, all that stuff? Isn't there some dings for that, some removal, some consequences? This really needs to be brought to the forefront, because it's just showing how, once again, conditioned people are into thinking that they can go about their way and do these things, but as soon as you have some truth for that ignorant ass, you can't take it. Then maybe your ass should get some morals and figure out what type of human being you want to be. Because I find it ironic that people go around and have these racial issues with people that have done nothing to them. They don't have a backbone or anything to stand on to justify these things. Call these people, or these races, that they are degrading and going out of their way to harass, which I thought was illegal, but hey, what do I know? And say that they're despicable people and they're this, and that, but boo-boo, where the shoe seems to be fitting on you, because the hateful things coming out of your mouth says that you are the lowly human being in that spotlight there, if you get my drift. If you're one that spews hatred and violence towards a race, to a group of people, because the way they look, because of the color of their skin, and if they're the lowly, disgusting people, then what does that make you? A saint? I think not. It makes you a pretty damn awful human being that is dumb enough to go on social media. Half of the time they have the guts to show who they are and show the world. Don't hire him or her. Don't do this. Do you know how many people have got shit taken away from them from the hateful shit they say, as they deserve, because they're not that bright in the first place? Nobody wants anybody like that representing their company, or let alone put it on spotlight for the world to see. You screwed yourself. But the bigger thing is, It's a very disgusting display of humanity. And for you to sit there and act as if you are a patriot, someone that is uh, that has a love for their country, is a freaking lie. Because let me tell you something. If you cared anything about your country, then you would represent your country in a manner where one can see and have respect. No one respects hatred. Only an idiot respects hatred. Someone that is of evil doings and deeds respects hatred in those heinous, disgusting ways, and the things that people like this think that they have the right to do. They have been lied to, fooled, misled, and it's very pathetic to have to even sit here and be exposed to the shit. But let's hold accountability where accountability should be held. Where are these people getting to put this shit out on to be able to verbally attack other people in these despicable manners, despicable ways on platforms that should shut it down immediately? So I say this to say, what the hell is going on when we use social media? When we sit back and have children and talk to them about how to treat people and respect one another, it makes me wonder, and these type of people that carry these type of hideous low bottom beliefs, what kind of freaking conversations do you have with your children? You teach them hatred. What kind of loving parent does that? Willful ignorance, because you're old enough to know what's right and what's wrong. You bleed, the next person bleed. You cry. People, we all have these things in common that makes us human beings, the human race. Not by color, but by being human. And we have made it into even more of a separation in 2020 versus an understanding and a respect. We've lost the whole entire vision. What is the point? What are we getting at here in all of our walks, in all of our struggles, in all of our movements? What is the big picture, and how are you going to get there? But I tell you how you can't get there, how you'll fall deep, deep, deep down in a cesspool of fuckery, is by hatred, racism, and unkindliness and unempathetic matters. Wrong is wrong. You don't have to be a black person or an African American person to see that these things are inhumane. I refuse to let society use those bullshit cop-outs of people being from a certain class or coming from a certain place they don't really understand. No, what you do understand is that that's some bullshit. That's a cop-out, and people suck it up like ignorant juice. This shit has gotten way, way, way more out of control. You would think we're here in 2020 and in a better place. But baby, people done lost their minds. And the sad part is, it's leaked into everything and everywhere. Everybody is buying the Kool-Aid. They're businesses. There are platforms that show their ugly, ugly racial cards when the getting is getting. And then you just got your cowards that won't, they're not willing to stand up for anything, and so they just roll with it because they don't have the guts to say when something is wrong.